If you try this protocol, I suggest 2 sets of 10 to 12 on everything, meaning like if 12 is too easy, maybe you could add a little more, but if you're not getting at least 10, perfect form, control, probably a better idea to back down. Those aren't magical, just simple guides, what I'm currently doing. Short term, you could use this to bring up a weak link. I think it's okay to do up to 3 times a week. Long term, I break these up over my week. So my current training looks exactly like this. I train 3 days a week. I start backward and forward on the resisted treadmill. Then I train from my ankle all the way to my wrist. So 3 full body sessions a week. For the first 4 exercises, you would use a mini sledgehammer that you might already have at home or super cheap to pick up at Lowe's or Home Depot. This is my American-made wrist bar. It'll last your entire life. I'll send you another one if for some reason it doesn't. So the whole idea of this routine is that the body should work right. But if you've ever lifted weights, it's almost a guarantee that we are too weak relatively to the strength we build upward. So this allows us to strength train. So first, this area, you've got a bone. This one, you've got a bone working. So I'm holding that top position. I'm not bending here. So I'm flexed here. And then you would do your 10 to 12 that way. And then same thing, flexed here and then here. So I don't think the names matter, but radial and ulnar flexion, meaning you're flexing there. So your wrist here, it doesn't only squeeze and just stay straight. It's got motions this way. It's got motions this way. So that's the second one. So you do your 10 to 12, 10 to 12, then again. So like 1 day a week, I do that one, 10 to 12 each side. Now you could choke up on it. So like when my dad started this, he couldn't hold right here empty. From painting, that's a big part of his job. He reached out a few years back and it's like his elbows were just in terrible pain. He couldn't do his job the way he wanted. So I got him one of these for home and he still thanks me to this day. So next one here. So again, easier by choking up on it. And then you have the load, elbow pinned. Now I'm rotating this way. So now this takes strength to lift there. This is a really common weak link and also a common tight link. So a lot of people, the wrist doesn't even go that far. So we're stretch strength training there, boom, and then it's coming back to the other side. So I've broken in my past, and that's kind of how I got interested in this. I've broken on one side, I broke there on my wrist, on this side I broke here. So I have different areas that are stronger or weaker. Now they feel the same, and I have to remind myself like which side I broke. But everything in your body has statue. We're doing strength training to bring up this commonly weak link. The idea is if we restore that balance of the body, now we won't have pain. So the idea is not, oh, do this one time to quickly, magically make the pain go away. No, totally different approach. We're gonna balance the body through how we exercise so it doesn't have the pain in the first place. So yes, my chronic elbow pain did go away from this over time. Same for my dad, same for a lot of other people. So there's 4 unique motions that are almost a guarantee to be weak links. Moving on, wrist flexion is the least likely to be a weak link, but it's a commonly tight link in the sense that we spend so much time not letting this stretch. This is often a tight position for people. So I'm still advising you to do this one, not skip it, but focus on that stretch position. Nice squeeze at the top. And now back to another commonly weak link, which is overhand grip here. And now strengthening up. Don't be surprised if this is really weak when you first start. So flexion, extension. Now we've covered 6 different motions. If you go to a gym, you might have a curl bench. If not, you can use a back extension, or you could just do this standing. Wrist turned about a 45-degree angle, being sure to control on the way down. It's a curl, but common deviation to do so much more curling underhanded that this area is really weak. And I like to do it getting in on my back extension, wedging all the way in there, makes it really strict. Turn 45 degrees, control down, nice range of motion, back up. Last but not least, full range of motion for the elbows. This is how I prefer to press, controlling down, embracing the stretch position. I'm almost flexing my biceps at the bottom. Press. Bear in mind, it was the ATG split squat, one side at a time, slowly, patiently, regressed all the way down to a level I could do with no pain, gradually, over 10 years, that has made me knees over toes guy. It wasn't some quick fix that I tried, and it also wasn't avoiding the joint. That's my experience. That's my experience helping other people. Even in the field of knees, which are pretty similar to elbows, it was presumed back in 1978 that knee over toe, full range of motion, these things put more pressure on the knee, so avoid them. But there wasn't any long-term research on it. That conclusion to avoid was a complete mistake, much later found 2013, contrary to commonly voiced concern. Deep squats do not contribute increased risk of injury to passive tissues. They found that the full range of motion actually preserves the knee better. So it's a very tough subject. I wish I didn't have to even mention the science, but the science has been completely wrong. So sometimes we have to take a piece of false data and give the true data, but working through pain wouldn't be the right approach either. So deep squats did feel bad for my knees. I was told my left knee would never even fully bend again. So I'm not advising working through something that's difficult. I'm advising finding the level you can do rather than avoiding. So remember, this is the opposite. The mainstream is like when I had problems with my knees, it was, okay, take this drug and avoid it. Drug, avoid. That was the two. Drug, no knees over toes, no full bending. That's it for life. I eventually was told to quit basketball. Don't do it. I never would have experienced the joy this lifetime of throwing down a dunk. I wouldn't experience the joy of climbing into little houses with my kids, being able to run around with them anytime I want, because I was able to turn my knees from a weak link into a strength. And that was only from understanding and doing the opposite of the mainstream approach. The opposite being, listen to the pain. Don't work through the pain. That's your body communicating to you. You got to listen to that and then face the area. Just might have to go low enough and then build back up. So my chronic elbow shoulder pains as well, I could have cared less because I was in basketball, whatever. If my shoulder hurts, my elbow hurts, as long as my knees don't hurt, I was happy. So I actually had a lot of other issues with my body, from shin splints to, I think it was, yeah, right shoulder, right elbow. Those were just wrecked from how much I used to try to practice shooting and different, just crazy. I pushed my body to the brink at too young of an age, but thankfully it was young enough an age to still find out that I could rebuild it in time to do something about it, to be here talking to you. So I hope this protocol helps. I also hope you understand how it works. We're simply trying to make sure that you do not have weak or tight links compared to the natural proportions. And we're trying to give you ability. We're trying to increase ability. This is not medical. I can't answer based on your medical condition. We're going to increase ability without working through pain. What can we get? More ability without pain. See ya.